65 new state troopers will soon be working in the valley and in other areas along the border. It's part of a DPS Recruits school, but as Action 4's Annalise Ortiz explains, it didn't come without pushback from some local police departments. Annalise.
Marcy, all of these 65 new recruits used to be law enforcement officers. Now that they've jumped ship to DPS, they'll be getting a pretty penny. And now this initially concerned some smaller police departments who couldn't afford to lose a handful of officers at once. But DPS is saying they've addressed that issue.
The department is going to spend a lot of time training them and equipping them, and then DPS is just going to come in and steal them.
That was the concern of several small police departments in Texas when the Department of Public Safety announced an accelerated training program for people with previous law enforcement experience.
Someone could go in with maybe a $20,000 or $30,000 pay raise into DPS.
Phil Etheridge is a professor of criminal justice at UTPA. He was approached by Hidalgo County Sheriff Eddie Guerra to analyze his deputies' salaries in comparison with other agencies. What he found? That the Department of Public Safety's offer would look very attractive to sheriff's deputies.
My deputies were not being compensated the same as other counties that were comparable to our size and our population.
But it wasn't necessarily his agency that Sheriff Guerra was worried about.
And some of these smaller PDs that are small, they're going to hurt.
Now DPS is only taking 2 law enforcement officers from any given agency per recruiting class. In a statement to Action 4 News, the department says this was done to minimize the impact on small departments, which was a concern that was expressed by some in law enforcement. But there is an exception. If the head of a department gives DPS the green light, they can accept more than 2. And that's exactly what McAllen has done.
We're very proud of our officers, and we didn't want to stand in the way of them achieving something that they want to do.
Chief Victor Rodriguez allowed 8 of his former officers to join the DPS Recruit School. He says in the end, the new troopers will work alongside departments in the Valley, and that will benefit everyone.
23 of those 65 new hires are from law enforcement agencies in the Rio Grande Valley. McAllen is the only police department overall that had more than 2 officers enroll. Live from the DPS headquarters in Weslaco, Annalise Ortiz, Action 4 News.
All right, Annalise, thanks.